and welcome back to Essential Oil Blending. When I said I was going to do this on my Facebook page, several people sent in questions, and one in particular was from the lovely Marlis McLean, who said, I'm quite confident with essential oil blending, but I'm always worried that one might cancel the other one out. And at first I didn't understand what she meant. So then she said, well, what if, for example, you've got one that heats the skin and one that cools the skin? Will they cancel each other out? Well, they kind of will, really, yes. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because you're trying to get the body into a balanced state, aren't you, Marley? So it's quite a useful thing to do. So, for example, ginger and peppermint's probably my extremes that I can think of. So ginger's very, very warming, and those of you who've read a lot of my work will know all the stories of when I did ginger wrong and made myself like some kind of fireball because I heated my body up so much, trying to get my metabolism to go faster and for me to eat less food, or eat the same amount of food but get thinner. But all I managed to do was make myself like a nuclear bomb. I was so hot. So I actually used a different oil. I used spikenard oil, which is very, very cooling, to bring myself down, but it did neutralise the effect. It might have been better to use peppermint as a cooling, but actually they're both so stimulating. I would have been like, hi on all of that, ginger and peppermint. So on one way they would have neutralized out. The peppermint would have cooled the skin down and the internal processes, but my head would have been like, oh, 16 cups of coffee, anybody bring on the work? I was bad enough as it was on the ginger, to be honest, without putting any more peppermint in. But so it will on some levels neutralise it, but not all levels. And there's actually quite an interesting phenomena that I hadn't thought of, but Dawn, another one of my readers, she pointed this out. She said, what about quenching? And I thought, God, I haven't thought about quenching for 150 years. So quenching is when there are two components within an essential oil that make the oil work differently. And can't remember exactly, but I think like Timol and carvacrol do it, and mostly it would be like the aldehydes in the essential oil calm down the sensitizing effects of other components. And I know that sometimes people add limonene into blends to try and make them less sensitizing to the skin, particularly in the perfumery industry. But I'm going to introduce now my daughter's piece of wisdom about this, and she says to me, this is a zebra and we do not look for zebras. And I went, what are you talking about? So she works for the National Health Service, and she has been they tell her to look for horses, not zebras. Zebras are very rare things. We deal with horses, which are the everyday things. So for the most part, Marlis, it's very unlikely that you're going to meet a zebra. It's very unlikely that you're going to get a quenching issue. In fact, that might be 16 zebras. And it's very unlikely that you're going to neutralise the effects of the essential oils. But if you've been clever enough to spot that there's a possible neutralising effect, just choose another oil. Just try it. Do that blend first. And then if you think, okay, that's not really doing what I want it to do, swap one of them out and compare it. And, you know, I am a big believer in journaling about your oils, so that you write down, you know, we call it journaling. That's quite a hippie statement, isn't it? But actually, if you're a professional therapist, that it's a case history. You are writing down what's the blend, what was the effect, what's the blend, what was the effect. And so that's extremely good practice, not only just to see what's happening with the person, but also to watch how your blends develop as well. So Marlies, that's a great question, and I've loved thinking about it, thought about it a lot. And one thing's for absolute sure, I'm never going to put ginger and peppermint together ever again. So hopefully that's helped you.